Brahma Gururvishnu Gurudevo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Long time back, I had seen a movie. Swamiji, we have come here to listen to Bhagavad Gita. So, I have seen a movie, and in that movie, there was a character. And the character was used to think about something and build up on that basic thought. And that build-up was so terrible in that he used to get carried away and then start shouting. So the event to indicate this character, it is something like this. This man goes to attend some marriage, a Hindu marriage. Hindu marriage means firework. Because fire alone works, nothing else works. So, that husband and or rather the bride and the groom, they are tied to each other so that they don't run away from the firework, and then they have to go around the fire. One person asked me, Swamiji, what is this kind of thing? Why they have to go around the fire? I said, that is the introduction of what is going to come after the marriage. So, they were going around the fire. Now, this man who has gone, he was sitting in a chair, and he starts imagining. Now, see, they are going. Suppose that fire goes and attacks the cloth knot which is tied between the bride and the groom. What will happen? It will start burning. And when it will start burning, it will also catch the clothes of the two fellows. And when they are burning, then they will start running here and there. And other people in the crowd, they will also start burning. And the whole pandal will be in the fire. And he starts imagining, and then start shouting, get fire brigade, get fire brigade. And everybody is cool. What happened? Are you mad? What? Friends, when our thinking is not listened or heard by others, we glorify ourselves being sentimental. But when our thinking is heard by others, we are called as mentals. Only difference, which volume, whether the volume is silent or loud. And this is a habit. You will see many of us, when we get up in the morning, we come out of the sleep but not out of the bed. So the time between when you come out of the sleep but not out of the bed, suppose the time is 1 hour. Swamiji, you are being too modest. Normally it is 4-5 hours, we go on talking on the bed like a dosha. So, during that time what we do? This is the time when we waste our energy and we develop a wrong habit of uncalled for thinking. And as a result, we start imagining, and all the recharging of our battery that we have done during the last 6-7 hours of good sleep, that whole recharge is discharged. And then when we get up in the morning, I don't know, I don't want to go to school, I don't want to go to school. But you have to go, you have to go. How can you say you don't want to go to school? I am tired. Every time strike, every time people shouting and breaking the furniture and the glasses, and I don't want to go to school. Beta, you have to go. You cannot say like that. But why, mom? Because you are a principal. For a mother, the same language to any child, whether the child is a baby or a baba, makes no difference. So, this habit we all have developed. Now, when this habit is in us, what we do? We apply this habit in every department of activity. And then we start building up the things which are not there. And after we build up, then we start getting sucked up into the same situation of our own mind. And then we start seeing those things which are not there. Exactly this is what has happened with Arjun in the first chapter that we are studying. बीच में आवाज क्यों जाती है बाबा इसकी? That fellow is not there. चला जाओ उसको चाबी भरो उसको. So, I am afraid whether my throat is going out or not. Acha. So, he has, first of all, not been able to be courageous enough to face the challenge of his life. What is the reason? He has taken the challenge as a problem. This is the basis of your performance. When you take the challenge as a problem, you succumb. You destroy yourself. But when you convert the problem into challenge, you come up. Only little difference. So, Arjun Maharaj, he had the challenge before him. And what is the challenge? Fighting with the enemies, it is not a challenge. It is a routine thing, not a big deal. The challenge was fighting with the near and dear. All of us suffer not because of the enemies. We suffer more because of our near and dear. You ask the children because of whom they suffer? Mom and dad. You ask the parents because of whom they suffer because of the children. So, we all suffer not because of the real enemies. We suffer because of our near and dear. That is the real challenge. So, when this challenge came in his life, he was totally shattered and he himself confessed, Brahmati vacha me manaha, I am able to fully, and as a result, he has declared that he is psychologically a wreck. After that has happened, was it wise on his part to take a decision? He should not have taken a decision. If you are confused about two things, the decision and the decision-making ability and the duty that is attached to you. If these two things you are confused with, your performance cannot be best. So, he did both the things. He has taken a decision where he was not capable. And then he has confounded the duty with the emotion. Friends, emotions are ornaments on our personality. Love, respect, compassion, help, these are ornaments. But when we become emotional, this emotionalism destroys our performance, our beauty. So he became emotional. And after that, he has taken a decision. Now, once he has taken a decision, he has to support his own decision. This is what the otherwise people do. Wise people first think coolly, then arrive at the decision. The otherwise people first take the decision and then start thinking. After you have decided, your thinking will be always in support of your own decision. That is not thinking. And this is what exactly happened with Arjun. And then he started justifying. So, the first justification that he gave, why it is necessary that we withdraw from the battlefield. Because, can anybody be happy by killing the nears and dears? No. Therefore, we should withdraw. Second justification. They may not be knowing because they are bad people, but we are good people. Good people should always suffer. See? Very wrong idea in life. Therefore, we should come back. And the third thing, they are not able to appreciate what a calamity is going to happen to our own family, but we are able to appreciate. So if we appreciate, come back. Remember one very important thing. Whenever we tolerate injustice, we support injustice. Tolerance to injustice is a direct support to injustice. So, this was not a war between the Arjun and his brothers. It was a war between two ideologies. One ideology, righteousness, and other ideology, corruption. So if the righteousness has to root out the corruption, that time you cannot take a very lenient view. You have to be very strong. Otherwise what will happen? No, ahimsa paramo dharmaha. But he is having a gangrene. Cut that hand and throw away. No. How to cut somebody's hand? Then let that gangrene eat away the whole body. Therefore, it requires balance of mind and understanding. Whether we are doing our duty perfectly well or we are getting carried away. So Arjun got confused about this, and then whenever we get confused, whenever we don't have the guts to do the things, we take the shelter of philosophy. That's why philosophy is a refuge for the refugees. It is not the right thing. So, after he has built up to this point, thereafter now he starts. Suppose this war takes place. Now his line of thinking. Suppose this war takes place. You know what will happen? Kulakshay kritam dosham. Our whole family's destruction will be the worst thing that will happen. And then what will happen? And thereafter, kula dharma sanatanaha pranashyanti. Then all the tradition, all the culture, everything will be destroyed. So you are the contractor of the tradition and the culture. Be very attentive. It is the Lord who has very clearly declared in Bhagavad Gita chapter 4 and chapter 6. Whenever there is a requirement or intervention, He descends. Then what is our role? Our role is uddhared atmanatmanam natmanam avasadayet. Grow yourself. And if you are strong, being alone you can help others. And therefore, here Arjuna has taken a point of view that as if he is the protector of the total humanity. The other day, I went to Rajasthan and one lady came. Swamiji, we are always seeing you on the TV and now we are seeing you in person. We are so happy, so happy. I said, Amma, come and touch. Jinda ho. Then she came, Swamiji, I am unable to know what I should do. I said, relax, there is nothing to do about it. Now, very important point. Then, after that she went, the person who was driving me, he said, Swamiji, don't you feel that so many people are coming and talking to you? I said, if you feel, you become emotional, you are destroyed. You have to maintain your equipoise under every condition. Samatvam yoga uchyate. Second chapter the Lord will tell us. Otherwise somebody tells, you are great, you start jumping. Somebody says, you are a fool, you start going down. So your stability depends on the people around. So if you are happy because of somebody, and if you are miserable because of somebody, you are nobody. Please discover this truth. We are we because we are we. We don't require anybody's certification. But this Arjuna now started. He has taken a stand that he has to protect the whole tradition and culture. In Delhi, one man came and about this burning topic of our country, he asked. Gujarati topic and Ayodhya topic. He said, Swamiji, what you have to do? I said, Gujarati things, dhokla I don't like, people I like. No, Swamiji, I am talking about something serious. I said, you go on talking, nobody stopped you, but you can't compel me to be serious about anything. What you have to do it. Don't only vent out your steam in your drawing room and destroy the atmosphere around you. Normally this is what we do. So in the drawing rooms we sit across and start fighting with each other. And those who are fighting, they are happy with their fight. And we are making ourselves miserable here. So this kind of approach to life is self-detrimental. And then regarding this Ayodhya Mandir, I said, look here, if you have to build, you go and build. If you have to kill, you go and kill. Don't pull me there. But if you people don't do, then what we will do? I said, you want to offer us a sacrifice or what? I know what I had to do. I don't want guidance from you. You need not take from me. Friends, please remember, you have to be very strong, firm about the goal of your life and the means that you adopt. Otherwise, Ganga gaye Gangadas, Jamna gaye Jamnadas. Like a round bottom flask. You must have seen, those dolls without the base, round bottom, heavy base. And slowly little bit of air moves here and there and they start dancing this way, that way. Is this the way that we should live our life? No. So Arjuna started projecting all imagination that if the dharma is destroyed, then what will happen? Adharma will become overpowering. And after adharma becomes overpower, adharma vibhovat Krishna pradushyanti kulastriyaha. Now here is a very important topic. Dharma, tradition, culture is always held and protected by the ladies. The ladies are the one who are the custodian of the culture, who are the custodians of the tradition, who are the custodians of our all good things in life. Take an example. Suppose, I'll give an example. There was one young boy, I think I have given you one somewhere in other context. I was going with him in his car and casually I said, hey, you are so lucky to have such a mom. He became so furious suddenly, like a migraine attack, and he immediately pulled himself and stopped the car. Hey, what happened? No, his words. He said, don't talk about that useless lady. I am ashamed to be called as her son. I said, hey, what happened to you? Then he told, listen now, you want to know? You talk good about my mom. And then he started telling, when my sister got married, she very clearly told her, don't beget children immediately. And for that, she did not hesitate to keep the newly married people apart. And the logic was, if you get child at such a young age, I will become a grandmother and I don't want to become a grandmother. Now, will anybody like such a mother? Suppose, another example. If somebody's father comes home, drunk, it doesn't make much difference. We delete him. He is good for nothing. Never mind. But when it comes to our mother, we have got all the hope. And therefore, our attraction, our surrender, our love for mother is more than for the father, because she is the custodian of total love, total sacrifice. And we all see that all through. And if these ladies or the women folk, if this gets corrupted, the families are broken, the society is destroyed, the culture has no meaning other than agriculture. Take presently available scenario in the Western world. Under the disguise of freedom, by the time any lady or any girl, she has completed 18, 19 years of age. I am quoting the statistic from some journal published in USA. I don't remember the reference. I am not cooking and telling you. I am not a cook. There it is said, in that Western culture, before a girl gets married, she already had gone with the boys, before marriage, a minimum of 150 to 200 times. What is for her to look forward to? By the time she has completed 20 years of her life, she has lived 100 years. So after 20 years, she starts living only death. I was in UK and I went to some school. After having given the talk, and there the tradition, like if you sit here in a decent manner, those boys and girls, somebody doing the Bhujangasana and listening to you. Somebody sitting like this, somebody Coca-Cola in the hand, somebody taking chocolate and ice cream, somebody eating popcorn, everybody, and I have to talk to them. So I was only feeling bad, they don't give me. If they give me, I will be happy. Who cares to talk to them? But there nobody gives to anybody. They eat themselves. He will call you. Will you please join for dinner? Yes. You go and then you have to pay your bill. So, when we were there, after everything was over, one lady who took me, her daughter was also in the same school. So, she came, hi Swamiji, आकर के एकदम गले लगते चिक चिक किस करना है, said, हाँ बहुत हो गया, enough. Then I asked, tell something about you. Could you believe what I tell? She said, Swamiji, a girl of 14 years, not big, 14 years girl. She said, Swamiji, I have so far kissed 36 boys. Something special about a girl in a school. And what is the bottom line? Freedom, freedom, freedom. Now, when this kind of freedom goes like a wildfire, today the institution of marriage is over. Now there is nothing like marriage. They stay only as friends. The reason is no mutual trust. And even if they get married, there is some clause, a very intelligent approach. They call it prenuptial contract. Whatever is earned after the marriage, that alone becomes the share. Whatever is my property before the marriage, that girl has no right on that. Do we call that existence of human being together? And the bottom line is, freedom we want, freedom. Friends, that society where women are corrupted, that society cannot stand the test of time. When we talk about the Western culture, how many years old? Hardly 100, 200 years. And if you see our culture, it is not 200, 300, thousands of years. Because our women folk has still been pure and maintaining the tradition and the culture. Therefore, Arjuna's fear, Strishu Dustashu Varshneya Jayate Varna Sankaraha. There was one, our Indian family, and they called me and the problem was daughter. All our people, they go to US to earn dollars, produce children there. But they want Indian tradition and the American comfort. It is not possible. So, that girl having constant fight at home. So when I went, Mom, I know why did you bring this guy here? Okay, I'll talk to him. So, that Master Swamiji, I said, Mama, you don't worry. I have been able to handle wild horses. This is a tamed donkey, don't worry about it. You just relax, you go ahead. Then she said, I have got a question for you. I know why Mom brought you. Her question is, what is wrong if I go for dating? That is her question. Here everybody goes. Why shouldn't I go? What is wrong in that? And they don't allow me. They want me to get married to any Tom, Dick and Harry whom I don't know and live with him for the whole life. I said, you are very right. You are an intelligent girl. So let us talk scientifically because you are a student of science, I am told. You are doing your doctorate. Yes. Then we started analyzing. All those who have gone into this business and got married, what is the rate of divorce in those families? More than 70%. Your mother and father, they never went for dating. In spite of you Rakshasas around, they are still together. Now this is a straight data available to you. So when some fools have conducted experiments on them, why don't you take the data? Wise people learn from the mistakes of others. And fools don't learn even from their own experience. Forget about the mistake. Yeah, but it is not going to happen with me. I am a different type. I said every fool thinks he is a separate fool. But the foolishness is the bottom line. Same thing again and again. Can you give me some other logic? I said, listen. When you get married to a boy, you have something to look forward to. We are all able to live in our life with some hopes, something to look forward to. And the looking forward to in our culture is the sanctity and purity of the relationship between man and woman. And if that very sanctity and purity is destroyed, thereafter, what is there to look forward to? Then only how much I can bargain and loot this fellow. See, Prishu Dushtashu Varsneya Jayate Varna Sankaraha. One more example I will give, this very important topic. There was a young girl, 22 years old, I know her for so many years, and came to India, studied few years, Bhagavad Gita, chanting, everything very good, but the originality is the same. After having gone back, got hold of one old man, 72 years young, and she was 22 years. And started living with him. After 2 years, then that fellow was declared to have cancer. The day it was declared he is having cancer, he immediately got married. And happened to meet her. He said, you tell me, can this be considered as bad? That I want to earn tremendous money. He is a filthy rich man. Billions of dollars at his disposal. And if I spend with him a year or two and get this much of total heritage, what is wrong in that? See the thinking. Prishu Dushtashu Varsneya Jayate Varna Sankaraha. Therefore, the culture and the tradition of any society is safe when the woman folk is not corrupted. This is the foundation of any society. So Arjuna has started picturing, projecting all this. Now his idea was, when this war will take place, in this war, what will happen? All the warriors and hefty, strong people will be killed. Thereafter, what will be the position or the picture of the society? In that society, there will be children available and old is available and young ladies available. This will be the picture. Now, on such a society, any other enemies will come and attack. And when the enemies will come and attack, do you think they are going to say to the young woman folk, Bandi, tusi kaise ho? No. They will go and do Varna Sankara, cross breeding. And as a result, the generation thereafter will be a generation of, English word, the generation of bastards. You know bastard? Bastard means the one whose father is not traceable. In our culture, if somebody is even mentioning about the very existence of our father, it is considered as the highest insult. Think. Therefore, particularly the ladies folk, don't get carried away by the glitter and the temptations of this so-called most prosperous society. It is not prosperous society, it is a perverted society. Friends, material prosperity without the spiritual support leads to mental perversion. Prosperity to have without the control and without the conquering of the temptations, we fall prey to our own weaknesses. And such a person destroys himself. And when such a society slowly starts growing up, divorces are the order of the day. It is not a disorder. Thereafter, in the old age, loneliness is the cancer of the society. Now, can we imagine? The other day, one lady from English probably, she came with me to Sikkim. And when we were there, we went to somebody's house, and the whole family, the grandfather, the grandmother, the 3-4 children, their wives, their children, and all sitting together, ha-ha, hoo-hoo, eating and like that. And she was just stunned. Yes, Swamiji, I can't imagine this can ever happen. Imagine. Now there is all the time loneliness, frustration, and how I can cheat others. No other thought. Therefore, friends, it is very essential that unless any society, particularly the women folk, do not protect themselves from the so-called prosperity and freedom, it is not freedom, it is selling yourself. Once this is understood, you can see the beauty in the people. Now I tell you, friends, very clearly, as I see all of you, whether your age is tender age of 20-21 or your age is a very tender age of 80-81, the beauty of the youth and the beauty of the old age is reflected with innocence and purity. This you don't see anywhere. Because in our country still, this thing is maintained by our women folk. Therefore, Trishu Dushtashu Varshneya Jayate Varna Sankaraha. So when Trishu Dushtashu means when the women folk get corrupted, Jayate Varna Sankaraha, there will be crossbreeding. And when crossbreeding happens, then what is the next thing happening? He says, Sankaro narakaya eva kuladhanam kulasyaja patanti pitaro yesham lupta pindo tatakriyaha. I was taking this very chapter in a community which was Bengali. And here I am not asking you to repeat. So there I used to chant and they used to repeat. Now this verse came. And I said, Sankaro narakayaiva kulagnanam kulasya cha. Now the whole Bengali group started. Shankaro narakayaiva. Poor Shivji. Directly they dispatched him to the hell. Because in Bengali language, Sakar is pronounced as Shakar. Suppose the name is Sonali, this is Shonali. So, Amar Shonar Bangla, not Sonar Bangla, Shonar. So, Shankaro Narakaya eva. Sankara means crossbreeding. Crossbreeding is where the origin of the two parents is not belonging to the same lineage. Please understand, when we keep our dogs as pets in our house, now we have to praise the dog. As you all must have seen, all those who keep the dogs, they never address their dog in Hindi and their names are never Hindi. Isn't it? Tommy, hi Dick, hi Johnny. Probably they are taking revenge of the English root. We don't know what is the reason, but it is true. Have you seen anybody addressing his dog Krishna, Krishna? No, how can you call a dog a Krishna? And to that dog, they will never call Kutta. They will be talking in Hindi everything. But when reference of dog comes, they have to use the English language. Because that word Kutta is reserved for human beings. Just the moment you call him Kutta, somebody will come. Even dog will not come. So, when we are having a dog, and how we glorify that dog, Swamiji, it is not just a stray dog. Acha, what is the speciality? Oh, he is purebred. And then the whole lineage of his mother and father is traced. And in this manner, this dog belongs to the same origin to that dog who was staying with Queen Elizabeth. Ram, 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 Ram. And then we feel, very purebred dog. So, when they told me, then I asked, kindly tell me, how does it matter whether the dog is purebred or not bred? How does it matter? Oh, same thing. It's not a purebred dog starts barking. Excuse me. Get away. No. Bhava is the same thing. So what is greatness about it? Swamiji, you don't understand. I said, that's why I am asking. And then they started with Swamiji. See, when you have got a purebred animal, then only there is joy in living that animal. Not in a stray dog like in India you get everywhere. I said, look here. You have brought my India. Now be ready to listen. I said, look here. In India, our dogs are stray dogs. In your country, human beings are stray human beings. Do you have the trace of the parents? We give so much importance to the pedigree of the dogs. But when it comes to the pedigree of our own people, then we are ready to compromise because we have understood the pure breeding is good for the dog and bad for the human being. Think. So Arjuna's problem was this. Trishu dushtashu varshneya jayate varna sankara. When the woman folk gets corrupted, then his, hers and ours. Have you seen this movie? Because I don't know, my fifth and her sixth. And this is how they live together in harmony. Dekho Maharaj. So, when the Strishu Dushtashu Arshneya Jayati Varnasankara, that society has a group of children who are, be very attentive, who are not claimed by their own parents or their own mother. See? And that is why by the time the child is hardly about 12, 13, 14 years old, kicked out of the house and defend yourself. That is not our culture. And therefore, Strishu Dushtashu Arshneya, He Vrishni Kulotpanna, He Bhagwan Sri Krishna, when any society has corrupted ladies, that society is doomed. Varna Sankaraha. Now, when this Varna Sankar comes, Varna Sankar means children whose parentage is doubtful or not traceable. Then what will happen? Then, Sankaro Narakaya eva Kulagdhanam Kulasyacha. When the Sankara, the crossbreeding takes place, that next generation does not have anything to do with the earlier generation. Now tell me, those whose parents are traceable, after the parents or the grandparents die, whether we believe or not in God or anything, but when that time comes, we call Pandit ji jo kar raha hai kar lo, humko malum nahi. And after that, we definitely perform Shraddha, etc. Because we somehow or the other identify ourselves with our elders. Now those children who do not have the elders to identify with, can they think about Shraddha? Can they think about culture? Can they think about sacrifice? Can they think about you have to love somebody even after death? Very important. Therefore, this Shraddha and various Kula Dharma which are said in our scripture, they have got a very deep impact, whether we understand or we don't understand. See, when we perform Shraddha in our houses, all the things go on and the children, they simply watch. Why this fellow, they don't finish food quickly, and I am very hungry, shouting, fighting, and they watch the whole thing. I remember, whenever there is to be Shraddha, the Pandit ji will come and there will be long puja. They start at 12 o'clock, they will not come early. And all puja, etc. And by the time puja is over, then every Pandit ji will sit for taking food, and then they are given food, and they are very slowly and comfortably eating. They are no hurry. And we are standing in queue as children. And they are shouting, jaldi nahi khate, jaldi khao. Because we are very hungry. And yet, it leaves an impact on your mind. Because for whom you have done this Shraddha? Oh, you don't know. See, our grandfather, whose photo you see, he is the father of your father. So on this day, we remember. It is not dead and gone. He is very much with us. That is why whenever Shraddha is performed, two things take place. At a lower level, we learn that not only we have to love the people after death, but even when they are alive, the children have to respect and revere the elders, whatever and however they are. Children have no business to find out the fault of the elders. Children have no business to teach them. That society where children take the freedom, and then suppose something is done by the child or the father or the mother. You know, you must have seen the educated parents. This is a very typical thing. Immediately the mother will say, Beta, mommy is so sorry, mommy is so sorry, please, why sorry? Give one and don't say sorry. You have full right. I am talking under Indian conditions. If you do the same thing other countries, 911, and you are behind the bar.
Therefore, when this Varana Sankara takes place, these traditions in the family will be erased. And when this is erased, the foundation of continuity in knowledge is broken. Now the second aspect of our Shraddha. Shraddha is done of the departed one. So after death also they continue to live. Therefore, it is very easy for people born in our country to understand the philosophy of our earlier existence, present existence and posterior existence. It is not difficult for them. Because this thought is going in our understanding through osmosis. Everywhere this is happening. We don't require special classes to be taken for that. And as the child grows and in this atmosphere, then he understands that whatever I have today is the one for which I am responsible. I stop blaming others because my earlier life was such. Whatever papa, punya, sins of the merits I accrued, as a result of which I get the pain or the joy. Now see, what a beautiful inauguration of expansion of your vision. And when a person understands whatever is happening, joy or sorrows, for that nobody is responsible, it is me who is responsible. What will be the result? Result will be, we will stop blaming others. That society where we don't blame others, but we are ready to shoulder the responsibility of our joys and sorrows on ourselves, that alone is a mature and balanced. This consumer code, and the doctors have come under the consumer code, and they have given the data and analysis for last 5 or 10 years. Since the code has come into existence, they have analyzed. And they have seen that the medico-legal cases claiming this return of money from the doctors has been only 3.6%. Because the analysis is given. Because here when the patients are taken to the doctor, the relatives of the patient and also the patient has full faith in that doctor. They will never take it. He is going to cheat me. He is going to kill me. That is not our tradition. But because of the so-called prosperity in our head, medical profession has become a legal profession and not a noble profession. See how terrible things start happening. And once we take this view of life, that what is happening today in my life, for that my own earlier karma, whatever I had done, I am getting the fruits of what I have sown. Now, when this becomes our philosophy of life, we are now living in this life to prepare the blueprint of our next life. See? Now what will be the total effect? Total effect will be one-sided. One, we stop blaming others. The moment you stop blaming others, your attention is on yourself. And then you become responsible. Second thing, when we accept that whatever I am going to do in this life has to be accounted for, if not in this life, in the next life. Therefore, I will start behaving properly. This together brings an absolute self-control, not from the imposition of the government laws, but from the law of dharma, which is accepted by us for our own good. And this is all put together is called as here Sankaro Narakaya Eva Kulagnanam Kulasya. Then we are told in our Shastra that a family where these kinds of monsters are born, And those children who do not perform the shraddha, etc. for the departed one, their parents remain hungry and they suffer. And not only they suffer, they are destined for going to hell. Who will like his parents to go to hell? Nobody will like. Provided we have got authentic parents. So we will never like that. And therefore whether we want or we don't want, we will perform all those things. See what is the consequence of Trishu Dushtashu Varsneya. When a society has the corrupted women folk, the whole tradition, culture, everything is destroyed. So, Shankaro Narakaya Eva Kulagnanam Kulastasya. Such people are Kulagna, destroyer of their own tradition, culture and the family tree, and Patanti Pitaro Hesham Lupta Pindo Dakakriyaha. Now, why their Pitaras, the departed ones, they will go to the hell because Lupta Pinda Dako Kriya. When the Pinda Udaka is given, when the Pindadan is done, then alone that is taken by the departed one. In our technical language, it is called as Ushmapa. What we understand is nothing. We imagine only this gross existence alone is the existence. No. There are many subtle layers of existence. Like we have got human beings, animals, plants, etc. Similarly, Yaksha, Gandharva, Kinnara, Kimpurusha, Vidyadhara, and so many of them. And in those subtle existence, one is called as the Pitruloka. And in that Pitruloka, all our departed elders go and stay, and they are fed by us by offering hot Pindadan. Pindadan is never done. Take out that rice from the fridge. I had kept it yesterday only. No. It is a hot rice and given as a Pindadan, and through that heat release from that rice ball, the departed soul, they take the essence of the food. It is said, I have not tasted. They say, if you eat the rice which is offered in the Pindadan, and the same rice you keep separately and cook it and eat it, the rice which is kept separately will taste normal and good. But if you take the rice which is offered as a Pindadan, it has no taste because everything is taken away by the departed souls. So it is not imagination. It is the truth. So, Lupta Pindodaka Kriya. Therefore, that society where elders are not respected is a barbarous society. That is the greatness of our culture, our society. Whether we fight with our mother or father, whether we are very angry with them, yet nobody will want that my mother and father should go and die on the roadside. It can never happen. One example I will tell you. Construction of these old houses, old people houses, I am never in favor of that. They call it as, old people houses and give different names, Pitama, Southern and senior citizen things. So one group of people, probably from Middle East or somewhere, they came and constructed old people home in Pune, about 10-20 kilometers away. Beautiful. With all the modern facilities. About 30-40 independent rooms, attached bath, latrine with phone and TV, and a common facility, newspaper, and you can play, you can discuss, you can talk, everything. So that those elderly people who want, they can stay here, pay 3,000, 5,000 rupees per month and stay comfortable. And advertise. Not a single applicant. Not a single. So all the infrastructure you have made, but in that infrastructure, there was no infrastructure. It was a commercial venture. Now, there was another trust formed by the similar type of people. They said, don't worry, we will sponsor 10 people. That means those people who are going, They will get everything free. And yet, nobody did. The third attempt. There was a house, so they went on a search party. किसी बूढ़े को पकड़ के बता देंगे. So they went on a search party. And in one house they saw one old lady sitting in the chair and tied down by the string. So when the son and the daughter-in-law is gone, servant there, so these people went. Social workers, dangerous species. They went. And after they went there, then Mataji, how are you? Fine. Oh, what is this condition? Your son is treating you like this. Come along, we'll take you to that old people's home. And don't worry about money, we will take care of you. And started glorifying all the facilities that they have. So, that lady, very calm and quiet, she said, who are you to come and teach me what I have to do? I will prefer to die in this position in my son's house than dying in a AC comfort somewhere where nobody claims me. Think. And then she said, do you know why my son and daughter-in-law are tying me down? Because I am uncontrollable. I go here and there for no reason. And sometimes I take out something, it breaks. How long they will suffer because of me? So when they tie down, I have no complaint. They take care of me. Think that society where elders are not burdens, that is alone the human society. And this is all possible when the women folk of any society has maintained the tradition and culture. So, patanti pitaro yesham lupta pindodaka kriya. Therefore, Arjuna's concern was about this. Now, here, when Arjuna is telling so many goody things, what Bhagavan is doing? Bhagavan is smiling in his own heart. Because what Arjuna was talking was right, but in a wrong context. Can something be right in a wrong context? It cannot be. Right and wrong is always determined in what context it is being said. The other day in one temple I went, and the mother of the child gave one to that child and caught hold of the ear and started pulling like this. So there was one person with me. Swamiji, dekho, I think I should tell her. I said, why do you tell? That is between the mother and the son. But this is not right. The mother should not abuse the children. Children can abuse the mother. I said, look here. Don't think because she has given one, she doesn't love her child. You know only the spelling of love. She knows the meaning of love. So don't get carried away by the external expressions. So we start living at such a periphery of our personality that the depth is totally lost. And therefore, friends, Arjuna was talking everything right, but in the wrong context. And therefore, this is another very important topic. See, many times people come with some or the other problem, and then one of them came. And the question was, he said like this thing, I said like this. He said then I said like this thing. So I was listening. He versus she versus he. After that was over, then, Swamiji, now you tell, who is right? I said, shall I tell you the truth? Yes. I am right. Swamiji, you are not involved. I said, you don't take I as a first person singular. Take I as a third person singular. If you are talking, you are right. If he is talking, he is right. Because we are not ready to understand the standpoint of others. And such people, they get lost only in this inquiry. Who is right? Friends, who is right, who is wrong will never solve the problems of your life. Our approach should be, this is the situation. How do we come out of that? Because even if it is proved somebody is right, somebody is wrong, it is okay in the court of law. But in your own house, where the laws are allowed all the time courting around you, don't get lost into that. Therefore, whenever we get into any kind of analysis, understanding, this kind of thing, whether this is wrong or that is wrong, is a wrong kind of inquiry and wrong kind of approach. Now, Arjuna's problem was that they are going wrong, but we are right. Here the question is not right or wrong. The question is what is to be done at a given period of time. That is important. And who will decide that? We cannot decide. For example, I am appointed in a company as a steno. Now, what is my duty? Will I decide? The company will decide, not me. In the same manner, wherever we are placed by the Lord, as a wife, as a husband, as a son, as a daughter, whatever we are. Now, what are our duties? We are not to decide. It is the Dharma Grantha. They tell what is the duty of the wife, what is the duty of the son, what is the duty of the mother. And if I have to decide my duty, what happens in today's scenario? I have cooked. You wash the utensils. I have fed the baby. You clean the dirty linens. I have put the baby in the school. You collect the baby from the school. And we glorified division of labor. It is not division of labor. It is division of heart, not labor. So, the moment we start calculating, I have done this much, you have done this much. Now tell me, who is right? Both are fools of the highest order. Therefore, whenever we want to live together, in that togetherness, this kind of inquiry, right and wrong, is totally to be given up and see what has to be done must be done. Whether we like or we don't like. Whether right or not right. If that is your duty, you do that. That's it. Something like somebody is having a job of hanging the people after they are ordered hang up to death punishment. That is my duty. So when the person comes and I say, no, he is a Desha Bhakta. How can I hang such a great patriotic person? I will not hang. So, if he will not do his duty, then what the government will do? Government will hang him first. And then somebody will be hired to hang the other fellow. So when I am doing whatever is my duty, that time we don't have to get into this. What is right, what is wrong. Get into the channel of working and slowly purify yourself. Therefore, friends, when our actions are ascertained on the basis of the results in the outer world, we fall in the category of the social worker. When our actions are evaluated on the basis of what is happening inside, we fall in the category of the spiritual seekers. And the world is sustained today by the saints and sages and the wisdom they have left behind for all of us. Therefore, every opportunity that the Lord has given us has to be encashed for purification of the heart, and that can be done when your mind is cool and do what is to be done. So, दोषैरेते कुलज्ञानां वर्णसंकरकारकैः उच्छाद्यन्ते जातिधर्माः कुलधर्माश्च शाश्वताः. So, एतैः दोषैः वर्णसंकरकारकैः. So, this terrible sin and omission because of varna sankara, because of the crossbreeding, where purity of culture, tradition is destroyed. There what will happen? Arjuna says, Uchchadyante jati dharmaha kula dharmasya shashvataha. The shashvata dharma. See, there are two types of dharma. In the 7th canto of Bhagavad Mahapuran, this topic comes. Naradji is one of the person involved. There, 2 types of dharma are told. One is called as the Sanatana Dharma, and other is called as the Varnashrama Dharma. Sanatana Dharma is for total humanity. And Varnashrama Dharma is for those who have accepted this Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasi, this kind of classification for harmonious living together. Now, I go to USA to earn dollars. So I go. Nobody can stop me. And after I have gone there, I will have to follow the rules and regulations of that place. Similarly, those people who have accepted Varnashrama Vyavastha of their own, what they should do, others have no right about it. Everybody has freedom of their own way of lifestyle. But what we do? We start meddling in a systematically organized society. And see, in any society, these 4 kinds of people are required. Intellectuals, which are always in minority. Then the leader class. Then the Vaishya, the producers and the distributors of wealth. And 4th, those who are the service-oriented government servants. So respectively they are Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Now all of them are required. You cannot have the human body only with the head. It is not possible. You cannot have the human body only with the hand, the Kshatriya spirit, without the head. It will be Kabandha, it will be Rakshasa. You cannot have only the stomach without the head and the hands. Your body cannot sustain. Similarly, you cannot have only the legs, the Shudras, and above thing is removed from the body. No. In the same manner, for the maintenance of the society, these are the 4 departments where people qualified according to their genetic makeup. Our great saints and sages and scriptures have classified the society into Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. It is not to create differences. That is the gift to our country because of this political sense. Just imagine this kind of hatred between or among the different varnas is nowhere said or promoted in our scriptures. It is for our own personal gain that this is being done. So, Varna Sankara Karakai. Now further, you will see that, let us take Agrawal community. Very rare people you will see from that community who are doing anything else except trade, industry, etc. Very few exceptions. You will see those who are belonging to the intelligent class. Now they are basically knowledge oriented. Therefore they are genius, technical genius. But the technical genius has to be utilized by a person who can make business out of the technical genius. So he is able to produce a wonderful software. But how to market it and how to make dollars out of this genius is a fool in that area. Think. In the same manner, every society has got all the 4 things required. There is nothing somebody is superior, somebody is inferior. So, Varna Sankara Karakehi, when this kind of beautifully presented society is destroyed and the Sanatana Dharma, the tradition, culture of the human values, when that is destroyed, what remains is the animal standing on 2 feet. And then we worship our great, great saint, Darwinananda Maharaj. According to our tradition, culture, human beings are not the extension of the animals. And if we accept the scientific approach, then we are the extension of the apes or the monkeys. Why blame anybody? Don't blame, because what we have done, we jump away from the tree and left the tail on the tree. And therefore, we still continue to live only in aping others. That is not the greatness of human being. Therefore, here Arjuna's question and concern was, Doshairete kulagnanam varna sankarakarakaihi. So these people, varna sankaraka, they have made an admixture of and confusion of everything. So, uchchadyante jati dharmaha. Now what is the jati dharma? See, jati, what is translated is incorrect. Jati does not mean Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Jati means Manushya Jati, human beings, animals, plants. The word jati is used to indicate the shape. Technical word it is. This caste spirit that we talk of, it is a totally wrong translation. It is called as varna. Varna means that which can be described. So how we describe this four category, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra? A Brahman is one who is predominantly knowledge oriented and a little bit of activity and very less of indolence and laziness. Such a person is called as a Brahmin. Now Kshatriya. Kshatriya is the one who is activity oriented, dynamic personality, supported by the positivity of the knowledge, therefore sacrifice and leadership and guiding the society. And third, the lower aspect of existence such as laziness, etc. is not much. Third category, Vaishya. In Vaishya also, the dynamism activity is supreme, but it is not for the benefit of the total society. First, what will I get? That is important. So, the dynamism is supported by the selfishness, and then also knowledge is required. Without that, they can't go ahead. They fall in the category of the Vaishyas. And the fourth category, they neither have the knowledge orientation, nor they have dynamism. Then they want to go and stick like a postage stamp to an envelope called as a government job. And thereafter, Calcutta philosophy. 10 to 5, home to home. This is the rule. Office hours are 10 to 5. So they will begin their journey from home at 10 o'clock. And they will see very obediently they reach home at 5 o'clock. Suppose somebody's house is 1 hour distance. So he will report in the office 11 o'clock. Because why should I travel in my personal time for the government job? See, because there is no risk. That is why one of the most essential things, if you want to grow in your life, don't have security. Without security alone, we can really bring out our best. The more the security you have, more lethargic and indolent you become. So when we go into Shudra type of mentality, that is why many people, when they talk about employment, what they understand by employment? Employment means government job. And once they get the government job, everything is perfectly alright. Now हमारा लड़का अब उसको job मिल गया है, now he's getting a job. Now he can get married. So the moment security comes, bhoga begins. And when bhoga begins, indulgence begins. There is no control over indulgence, so bhoga terminates into roga. And when the roga begins, then we want more and more wealth, and our whole life is destroyed. Therefore, friends, Varna Sankara is one of the curses that we can see to any society. Many times people compare. They say, you talk so great about Indian culture, then why there is so much of corruption and terrible things happening in our country? So, One more person, I think, Delhi or somewhere asked this question. If your Hindu religion is so old and ancient and so great, why it is not spreading throughout the world? I said, listen, you want to listen? Weeds spread more than the actual crop. Do you do any special effort for the spread of the weeds? Because the weeds are spreading left and right, that doesn't mean they are good. On the contrary, if something is really great, you have to take more care. So don't get lost into this. If our culture is good, why this is happening? It is something like that. If medicine is good, why people are having disease? They are having disease, therefore the medicine is. So what we have to focus attention, rather than going only at the exterior things, grow within. And the more we start growing within, then alone we are following our tradition, our culture. And such a person, when toward the end of his evening, he is content, fulfilled, and able to be with everybody, and the life passes off very beautifully and peacefully. Otherwise, we do not know where we are going to die. Somebody will come to do. One lady asked me, Swamiji, can you promise me one thing? I said, I have never done that, never do that. No, I want a promise from you. I said, you may say, I will not give. What is the promise? A lady from Canada or somewhere I met. At the time of death, you should be near me. I said, do you know what you asked? Yes, Swamiji, because I don't have anybody and I wish that everything should happen in your hand. I said, you again think what you ask. Every time I will come to you, you will have fear. Agya. Now I am going to die. Okay, go on talking and asking, don't understand what we are talking. Now why this kind of feeling comes? Because I don't have anybody. Friends, in the old days, the most miserable experience is when we come to realize nobody wants us. Most pathetic experience of human existence. When you come to realize that the wife or the husband don't want me, the children are grown up, they are settled and they are miserable with their children. So they also don't want me. And then nobody wants me. Then Aji Azoba Udyan, Nana Nani Udyan. That is the only place we have a freedom to get and then start talking. Jab hum jawan the. When I was young, I was doing like this thing. And when this old fellow is talking, the other says, shut up, first listen to me. Dekho Maharaj, that sense of not being wanted by anybody can never happen in our country, in our society. Because the whole culture is maintained. And therefore, although Arjuna has brought out such a beautiful thought, no doubt about it, but it was brought out in a wrong context. And the subsequent consequence of all this will be taken when we come towards the end of this, when this Kula Dharma, Jati Dharma. So Jati Dharma is that culture which is meant for human beings to live as human beings. Because Manushya Jati, Pashu Jati, Pakshi Jati. And for the human beings alone there is Kula Dharma. Kula Dharma is not for animals. And therefore, animals never have a sense of guilt, neither they have a planning for the future. They are living exactly in tune with the nature. But we are given freedom, and our freedom is to live in the dignity of human being or degrade again to the level of animalistic existence. There was a great king, Bhartruhari, who has written many beautiful things. In one place he writes that such human beings who are living their life like animals. When we call them animal, all the animal protested. And they said, don't call that human being as an animal and insult us. Because if this human being is really an animal, he will consume the whole grassland and other animals will die of starvation. See, the sangraha vritti, the selfishness, as much it is in the human beings, nowhere. Therefore, our culture, tradition teaches us, grow, share, give, and in that, discover the fulfillment of your existence. Once we understand this principle, you will see life becomes so simple. Those who have discovered the joy in giving, those who have discovered the fulfillment in giving, they alone have learned the life and the message of life. And further consequence of this analysis and understanding, tomorrow we will conclude. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.